Now this is one way to see New York City. Running down Broadway in the middle of Times Square. Woo!
So today I am running across Manhattan, tip to tip. Since within the next month, I am going to be hiking Mount Kilimanjaro in Tanzania, followed by running the Berlin Marathon next month, in which your boy definitely needs to get some training in. So what better way than to run across your entire city? So today's mission is to run tip to tip of Manhattan. And outside of the New York City Marathon, this will be the furthest I've ever ran in my life. If all goes to plan, it should be anywhere from around 14 to 16 miles. And with this insane heat we have today, as well as the streets not being closed like they are during the marathon, it is making me a little bit nervous. But also at the same time, I do feel like this is going to be a very fun day.
I got it. Yeah, 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 yeah. Yeah, 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 yeah. I got it. Yeah, 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 yeah.
So after nearly an hour, we made it to 215th Street. So there is the Bronx, and here's Manhattan. So I am feeling a little bit nostalgic right now, since I spent a lot of my earlier years living in the Bronx, and every summer, my friends and I would ride our skateboards from the Bronx all the way across Manhattan to South Ferry. It was actually one of my first ever vlogs. And now here we are, a few years later, about to run it. Oh, I'm fired up for this, and a little bit nervous. Let's do this. Woo! Okay, I'm 1 mile in, just made it through that park. Now I'm trying to find the West Side Highway, so I'll have a clear shot down. I don't know how to get there, so I'm kind of just following this random runner, hoping he's going there too. I never thought I'd say this in New York City, but I think I'm actually a little bit lost. Excuse me, do you know where to get to the river? To like West Side Highway?
Highway.
The West Side Highway to run the river?
Yeah, river's over there.
That way?
That way to stop.
All right.
Do this, take a left. Now go right. Up.
That way?
River
All right.
Way, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
All right. According to that guy, I was going the completely wrong way.
Come on now, let's work. Come on now.
So I have found the river, which is somewhere over yonder behind the trees. And now I am just running through Washington Heights. And a fun fact about Washington Heights is that it is actually the highest point of all of Manhattan. So Washington, during the Revolutionary War, set up his fort here since they didn't have drones and they were able to look down at when the British were arriving and coming up. These high hills were probably great back then for the war, but right now for running, not so great. Like, how on earth is this New York City right now? So much green. Oh, giant puddle. Woo! So if you do run all the way up here to the George Washington Bridge, you will find this little red lighthouse. And I have never had a desire to go swimming in the Hudson River, but in this heat, not gonna lie, I am a bit tempted. About 3.5 miles in, 10, 12, 13 miles to go. So we are currently 6 miles in, taking a quick break now to chomp on some chops. For about the past 45 minutes, I was roasting like a marshmallow while running along the West Side Highway. So the plan is now cut through the city, get to Central Park, and hopefully get some shade. And we are now 7.5 miles in. We're back in the streets. Now this is one way to see New York City. Running down Broadway in the middle of Times Square. Whew, not gonna lie. We're starting to have some doubts, wanting to stop, starting to really feel it in my legs. But then I remembered that today is summer streets in New York City. where they shut down the entirety of Park Avenue all the way from north to south. So see, there's a cop. I am legally jaywalking. 12 miles in, my second wind is slowly starting to fade away, and I still got about 5 miles left. So the plan is to just zip it, focus, and get to South Ferry. Just ran into Dan. Dan, you've done the perimeter of Manhattan. Any advice for me to finish up while I'm dying right now?
Okay, know your hotel stops, because hotels make the best bathrooms. Fun fact number 1.
Good to know.
Fun fact number 2, get Coca-Cola. It's the only time you can enjoy it right now, and it's actually good for you. So 2 things, hotel bathrooms.
Hotels, get Coca-Cola.
Yeah.
I'll see you soon.
See you soon.
Well, that was ironic running into Dan right now. Dan is Chris Hemsworth's nutritionist, so he knows a thing or two about fitness. I guess I need to get a Coke after this. I am dying, guys, I'm not gonna lie. I can barely feel my legs with this heat. Oh. So close. I can see it. Ah. We did it. Oh my God.
So, my thoughts on running Manhattan tip to tip. You know, it really was a lot of fun and such a cool way to see the city. But it was also a lot harder than I thought. And I do think a lot of that has to do with the heat. Today was about 90 degrees and really sunny and very humid. So towards the end, I did feel a bit dehydrated and just kind of wanted to get it done with. But for like the first 13 miles, it was a blast. And the route that I did ended up being 15.7 miles and I had a 9:20 pace, but that time is including all the times that I was like putting my phone down and running back and forth to get those shots. But according to my Apple Watch, it was like a 8:30 pace. And I feel like this really did push me because yeah, this is the second most I've ever run in my life and now have a bit more confidence going into this Berlin Marathon. And now for my post-run snack of choice, Chomps. So Chomps is my snack of choice for 3 main reasons. The first reason being, this little beef stick right here has 10 grams of protein. Then the second reason is that it has 0 sugar. And then the third reason is that it just tastes so dang good. All stick without the ick. And besides having Chomps as my post-run snack, I do also love it while traveling. I feel like I always have at least 2 or 3 sticks in my camera bag, just in case of emergency. So when Chomps did reach out to me and want to sponsor this video, I said yes and was so excited because it really is such a great product. It's something that's family owned and I've just been such a longtime fan of the brand. Even for Kilimanjaro, I do have a huge pack of them now that I am so ready to do this 9-day trek. If you guys want to try out Chomps for yourself, then you go to the link in the description down below. So now we still have a very eventful day ahead of us. So the shorts that I was running in across Manhattan are my favorite running shorts. And the company Roan is actually owned by my 2 friends. I'm gonna go meet up with them now to get some more insights on Roan, as well as have them give me some tips for my new tea business. Also, I think they said they wanna get a workout in, but my body is fried. All right, so I just made it here to the Roan store with Nate and Ben. Is this your guys' first business, or how did you guys get into entrepreneurship? Because it seems like you guys know what you're doing.
Well, that's a lie. Yeah. we're still figuring it out.
Yeah, I heard about a friend who had started a summer camp for little kids, and I was like, I can teach kids how to play sports. So we had like an Apple II computer, made a flyer for a summer camp to teach little boys how to play sports. It was for boys ages 4 to 8. Called it Boys World of Adventure. Convinced my mom to drop me off at like the local soccer field, started passing it out. Then we started getting people to sign up. And I realized, oh wait, I need camp counselors. So I hired my 2 younger brothers, Ben and Andrew, and this camp ended up running for 8 years. As teenagers, we were making like 40 grand a summer teaching kids how to play sports. I think in so many ways the first taste of entrepreneurship. Absolutely. And from there on there was just always this magnetic pull to starting something from nothing and having the belief and the conviction that that could happen.
Do you guys have any advice for someone, myself, since I am launching a new business in a couple months?
Oh, yeah, exciting.
Thank you. Any advice for someone who is leading up to a big launch? What worked for you guys? Was it gathering emails? Was it just making sure product is dialed?
I think the biggest mistake that most people make is thinking that the launch is the success point, and really the launch is the launch. For us, we've never had a moment where some celebrities posted about it and all of a sudden like traffic has been through the roof and like the business is totally transformed. It's been consistent, steady effort. I think trying to teach entrepreneurs that it's not a sprint, it's a marathon, which almost sounds cliche at this point, but it is so true. Consistent, steady effort, building good habits, sticking with it, because there's gonna be highs, there's gonna be lows. That would be my biggest piece of advice, is just keep going, don't give up. Most businesses fail for 2 reasons. 1, either they run out of money, or 2, the founder just burns out and is like, I can't do this anymore. So if you can manage your own energy and you can manage your capital, you have a really high chance of success. Everyone will tell you most new businesses fail, but they fail for those 2 reasons. If you can manage those 2 things, your energy and your capital, you got a really good chance of success.
Yeah, I would say my best piece of advice is just trust your gut. There's been so many times where I have jeopardized my gut decision or my gut instinct, and it was a huge mistake. And you know, the regret of what would have happened had I followed my gut is so much worse than I followed my gut and I made a mistake. Like I hate that regret. I would have so much rather just followed my instincts and taken a chance and made a mistake that way, as opposed to just sitting back and not doing something, if that makes sense. Wow. So if you had the idea to start the company, just trust yourself, because at the end of the day, if it fails and it's all on you, that's a great learning going forward. And I know it's tough. I know there's other implications with it, but ultimately, yeah, just trust yourself.
All right, and now the boys are gonna kick my ass in a workout.
Let's do it.
Let's do this.
Let's go!
So now next up on today's agenda, I am heading over the Williamsburg Bridge into Brooklyn because my homies Jack and Liam are having this incredible food festival. They brought together some of the best restaurants in New York City all to one place. So off to Brooklyn we go.
Alright, you see this dress, you got it. This fits so good, you flaunt it. How you get so iconic? I see you. Can't wait for later. My favorite flavor, light blue lifesaver.
Thank you very much.
Can't get enough of you.
Well, that really hit the spot post 16-mile run. I got to try Mama's 2 and a couple other restaurants that I've been meaning to try here in the city. So a huge shout out to Jack and Liam for throwing together such a successful event. So one of my favorite things about this apartment is that it faces west, meaning I got to witness some of these incredible sunsets overlooking the city. And tonight looks like it's gonna be one of those nights. So for the past couple of months, my life has been revolved around damn fire trucks. My life has been revolving around sampling teas. Luckily for the most part, they have been really good, and now we're at the point where we are so close to perfecting. And it's great putting them to the ultimate test on a day like today where I ran 16 miles across all of New York City to come back home and try our recharge tea and be able to test out from the taste to even the functionality of it, how I go to sleep and then wake up the next day. And so far, this one has been doing just the trick. It definitely passed the the taste test. Also, last thing I wanted to say on this video is that in a couple weeks, I am going to email out everyone who has signed up for the newsletter, which is linked down below, the name, the branding, the full brand guide. So if you are interested in that, which I am so excited with how it turned out, and I think it can be very helpful to anyone who is interested in marketing, startup, starting a business, or just overall interested. So if you want to be on the behind the scenes sneak peek look before everyone else knows, please click the link down below and subscribe for the newsletter. Until next week, let's get on and get busy in the next one. Damn, I really just like almost cracked the glass. Wouldn't that be funny?